Hey, this is Jefferson Macdonald. This will be my second video promoting my book, Doctrine of a Fighter. The last time I talked about my conversion story, and you can find that in my book in the About the Author section. This week, we're going to focus on Chapter 1, which is Know the Fight. And in that chapter, what I discuss is the things that we need to do in this life, the things that we need to learn and know for ourselves. If this interests you, the subject matter in Chapter 1 about knowing the fight, you can buy my book on Amazon under Doctrine of a Fighter. Jefferson Macdonald is the author. That's my pen name. You can buy it in paperback or ebook. So Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So we have to have the right vision, the right eternal perspective to actually be successful in this life. So the two main things that I believe that we're going to talk about in this video that are not necessarily talked about in the book is to know God and to know ourselves. Socrates says that's the beginning of wisdom, to know ourselves. But we must first start with knowing God. Some people don't know if he exists or not. Other people have no doubt. They've never questioned it. I fall into that second camp. I've never questioned the reality of God. I grew up with a mother who believed in Jesus Christ and Heavenly Father and always taught. And whenever I heard stuff talked about God in church or wherever I might have been, I've just never questioned it. I prayed to him as a child, and I've just never had to struggle with anything like that. So for some people that might be a challenge, other people maybe not. So, but those are the two things that we have to conclude: that God actually exists, who he is, and then who we are in relationship to him. One thing I like to think about being a writer and a big movie buff, especially when we're talking about movies that have heroes in them. When you look at movies with heroes in them, like Rocky and Karate Kid, which I reference several times in my book, I use different movie scenes from those two movies to kind of teach doctrines and things like that. But in Rocky's really kind of a lost soul at the beginning. He's just kind of wasting his time, just living his life. And he gets this great opportunity to fight the heavyweight champ of the world. And through that process, he comes to know who he truly is, what kind of fighter he is. And he has a mentor named Mickey who helps him out. You see that in Karate Kid too. Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso moves from New Jersey to California, and he's got interest and things like that, but he's not on his path yet. And then he has these bullies come into his life, and he meets Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi kind of mentors him and gets him on the right path, and he discovers who he is. Same way with Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. He doesn't know that he's a Jedi in the beginning. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda who mentor him, and from a small part, maybe Han Solo too. But Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi teach him to be a Jedi, and he discovers his true self and his true purpose in life.
Then I am a Jedi.
Not yet. One thing remains. Vader. You must confront Vader. Then, only then, a Jedi will you be.
In all of these scenarios, in all three of these movies, each character learns to be a fighter. They learn how to dig deep, they learn how to press forward, and they're motivated by the task at hand, the challenge at hand. And going along with the fighter analogy, a fighter has to know the fight. He has to know the person that he's fighting. He has to know the rules of the fight, how many rounds, what's expected of him, the do's and don'ts, all of that stuff. If he doesn't know that stuff going into the fight, there could be problems during the fight. So in my book, Doctrine of a Fighter, in the first chapter, I talk about key doctrines in the church, and I talk about different scriptures and my own personal experiences of things that can help us get an eternal perspective, know who Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ are, and answer three questions that I think are really important to getting us on the right path. And there's three things that we need to answer in order to have a better understanding of who we are in relationship to God. So we often hear the phrase past, present, and future. Well, some questions that relate to that are, where did we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? And I answer that in chapter 1 of my book, Doctrine of a Fighter. I won't talk about it much here at length, but I go over the plan of salvation as taught in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I relate that to how we can become better fighters for Jesus Christ. And all three of these things are important depending on what we're talking about. But in this life, we need to know where we came from, which is past, why are we here, which is present, and where are we going, which is future. He will reveal himself to you in his own way, in his own time. So to end this second video promoting my book, Doctrine of a Fighter, I thought I'd read just the first page of chapter 1 to you, but I also want to kind of convey why I'm doing this. So I decided to write this book, Doctrine of a Fighter. It's been on my mind for probably 20 years. It's kind of morphed into what it is now, but I put a lot of stuff into this book, and a lot of it is things I've learned over the 25 plus years that I've been a member of the church. It's full of doctrine. It's full of testimony. It's full of personal experiences. It takes clips from different movies, fight movies like Karate Kid and Rocky, to kind of illustrate different principles and doctrines of the gospel, so that we can apply them to our lives, so that we can truly be rooted to Jesus Christ. Because before I joined the church, I was a complete idiot. I was ignorant I thought I knew about religion, but I really didn't. I thought I knew who I was. I really didn't. I thought I knew who Jesus Christ was, but I didn't. And I think that's going to be true the rest of my life. I'm constantly driven to discover who he is and who I am. And that's what makes life exciting. So, having said that, let me go ahead and read from my book, Doctrine of a Fighter. And I'll just read the first page of the first chapter. It says, where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? It is so important to answer these three questions. Knowing the answers to them give us a vision of this life and who we are, which helps us fight against deception. In both the Rocky and the Karate Kid movies, Rocky and Daniel get their vision from their mentors, Mickey and Mr. Miyagi. Mickey wanted to help Rocky after he heard that the heavyweight champ wanted to fight him. He said to him, I have all this knowledge and I want to give it to you.
I want to be your manager.
Miyagi taught Daniel how to meet his challenges by telling him his best karate comes from inside. When teaching Daniel, he pointed at his head and heart and said, karate comes from these places. Then he pointed at his belt and said, karate never comes from here. He taught Daniel that belts and titles don't matter as much.
Daniel-san.
What?
Karate here. Karate here. Karate never here. You understand?
His mind and his heart are what matter. Does that sound familiar? The Lord told Oliver Cowdery he would tell him in his mind and in his heart, which you can find in Doctrine and Covenants, section 8, verse 2. Prophets in our day have knowledge that God reveals to them, and they reveal it to us. Through the words of prophets and personal revelation, we gain a vision of who we are and what is needed to win the fight. So I hope you like this video today, going over chapter 1 of my book, Doctrine of a Fighter. The reason I wrote this book is to help people come unto Christ and to find a way to be motivated to fight for him and to live the best life that they can live. So if you'll go to Amazon, you can find my book there. If you have any questions, you can email me. I'm at writerjmac@gmail.com. I will post it here in the video too on the screen so you can see it. You can also reach me through YouTube. And if you go to jeffmac.com, which will also be here on the video, that's my website. You can find me through there as well. Thanks for listening. I will post another video next week, and I plan to do these weekly, going over each chapter. There's 12 chapters and then a final chapter, and I'll go into detail about each subject, but I won't talk about everything that's in each chapter. Just like today, I didn't really explain anything specific from chapter 1, but I did talk about the subject matter, but just from a different angle. Hope you enjoyed the video and you have a great day and a good week.